I still think what I'm taking away from this game so much is we've seen games before where Derek White has been the unlikely hero or somebody else has, tried to rise to the occasion. Last night, Derek White had the bad hacking foul on Halliburton, I think it was late. And so it started looking like, oh my God, who is the leader out here? And so for me, the biggest takeaway, even though the Pacers were screwing up, the Celtics were screwing up too. A little bit, and then Jason and Jalen were able to take control of the situation when it really mattered. And to me, that's just growth. That's progress. I don't know if it's something that they can sustain if they found something, right. But last night, I just can't take credit away from that.
No, me either. And so let's see if they keep doing it. And for everybody who says, oh, you're too tough on Tatum, or you're too tough on Jaylen Brown, or you're too tough on the Celtics in clutch time, this is what I was looking for. So when they do it, I give them credit. This is what I was asking for. As you said, Mego, I'm not trying to move the goalposts today. They needed help from Indiana. Arcan, you're 1,000% right about that. But I think last year's team wouldn't have taken advantage. Let me give you an example. Last year, who takes that shot in the corner? Who's left open and gets that shot in the corner on last year's team?
I know you're going to say Marcus Smart.
It is Marcus Smart.
Or Grant Williams, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you get Marcus Smart the hell out of the way because he was a liability offensively. Teams dared you. They just dared you to give him the ball, and the Celtics always did. He was always open. He'd always take the shot.
Bring it!
That's a big difference from a year ago. And so I think empowering guys like Tatum and Brown, and look, Tatum was giving up a lot of shots last night in the end of regulation. He took some and missed them, but he was giving up a lot of shots too. Empowering those guys to be taking the big shot, I think that's a big step forward.
Mark is stupid.
And I don't think last year they would have taken advantage of the Pacers' miscues. So you can vote. Which statement better describes Game 1? The Celtics were clutch or the Pacers choked? You can vote at Jones and Mego. You can weigh in. 617-779-7937. I want to get to a nitpick each of you two have, and then I want to hear from Jason Tatum coming up. You think they missed Porzingis last night?
I do. And I was just checking the matchups this morning, and it bears it out. There were times when Al Horford was able to make good defensive plays, but once again, just like the end of last series, there were points where they were definitely zeroing in on him and trying to take advantage of him. Cornette got completely cooked by Miles Turner, and that was just Miles Turner had 9 points in 3 minutes. With Cornette on him.
Not a good matchup.
You can't have that. And I'm sorry to say it's just too late in the playoffs to be seeing Luke Cornette minutes. Now, I don't know if it would have been different if Xavier Tillman, he had a personal tragedy over the weekend. I think he lost his dad. So I understand why he wasn't out there. I don't know if that's a body you can throw at him in the meantime. But last night, looking at the size that they have, particularly with Miles Turner in the first half, I was like, they can't just roll Al through most of this series. They got to start building back some Porzingis minutes.
Yeah, I'm well worn on this. I don't see it that way. I mean, Horford's not the greatest matchup.
You enjoyed the Cornette performance?
I don't know, but I don't need to see Luke Cornette minutes. But I'm not going to cry about their second big. Again, I said this about Denver. Denver has to figure out minutes at some point without Jokic. So I just don't think that's their biggest problem.
I think the difference between you and I, though, is that I think that Al Horford and Porzingis are both going to be needed in the finals, and I don't want Al to completely lose gas in this.
Yeah, I'm just not worried about the 9 minutes that they got to figure out off the bench. I'm going to look at the superstars who stepped up last night, which is why I'm happy with last night. But did they need Porzingis? You can jump in on that. Arkan, you want Jalen shooting the big shots in big spots.
Yeah, I think that, him getting the ball at the end of the game there. Listen, Jason Tatum right before that had a wide open three-pointer that he completely bricked, got an offensive rebound, missed the fadeaway. Jaylen Brown gave him the opportunity to be clutch in overtime. He didn't take it during the end of regulation there. So I wonder, Jaylen Brown at the end of these games, does he get the ball now? Should he get the ball now? I answer yes. I've seen enough of Jason Tatum this year taking those shots at the end of the games. Now, he was good in that last minute, but we're talking about last second, but game on the line, who's taking the one shot. I don't want Tatum to be doing that anymore. I'd rather it was Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's more suited for it, and I really liked what I saw. That was a ridiculous shot that he made. Falling out of bounds with Siakam right on him there. That was a very, very difficult shot. He rose to the occasion. He did it, and he was talking his talk after the game. I think he should be the guy they go to from now on.
You agree, Mego?
Jaylen Brown is the only guy in clutch? No. If anything, I think that, okay. You said he's the guy that they go to, so he's the first option.
Yes.
I disagree with that still. And trust me, I know I'm the person who's been sitting here all year long saying Jason Tatum isn't clutch, Don't isolate that. That he,
I hate Jason Tatum.
that he's had these end of game struggles. But I would like to see if now he's gotten that, weight off of himself. Because I agree with what you said before, Jones. Like, I think it was a mental thing with him.
So this is what I think.
Maybe just seeing it go in once in a game-winning scenario. Somebody on the text line is like, it's not clutch because they had a lead. That's not what that means. You're talking about final minutes, and if it's like within a 1 or 2 score game.
Yeah, to me, I'm almost more impressed with Tatum because he had the crappy finish to the end of regulation and had to shake that off and come out and do what he did. Like, to me, that's almost more impressive. Like, he goes out and gets the and one in overtime. He gets the three-pointer on the possession after that. The and one came with like a minute and change left. The three-pointer came in the final minute.
It's like throwing an interception and then going out and throwing
He's
a touchdown.
you're going through the he wasn't just locked in and red hot and unconscious all night. Like, that's good too. Don't get me wrong, but like, he had to go through something and figure it out. And I do want to see if the weight's off his shoulders. So I'm not there yet that Jalen gets all the big shots. I'm not there yet. I still want to see if Tatum can do it. I do think that Jalen shot, not to get ahead of myself, but I think that Jalen shot has the potential. And we talked about the Derek White stick back last year against Miami in a similar fashion. And it ended up not a comeback, so it didn't matter. And we all kind of forget about it now. That Jalen 3, if you're watching the championship DVD or whatever the 2024 equivalent is.
Jacob, a DVD is a small disc that you put into a machine and then it projects things on a screen.
What's the 2024 equivalent? You know, if you're watching the championship streaming on your stupid phone, that 3, that's going to be a moment we look back and go, oh, wow, that's where it all clicked.
Brown fakes, fires up the 3. Bang! Jalen Brown knocks down the 3 to tie the game.
2 bangs.
Mike Breen bang bang.
That was like the only good moment for Mike Breen last night.
He had a rough night, but 2 bangs. Who has the stamina? And so that's Mike Breen after the game.
Schedule then.
Like, to me, yeah, I don't schedule them back to back. And so when it comes to the Jalen Brown 3, I think that's one that we can really look back and go, oh wow, that was a moment. That's where it all clicked for the Celtics. So file that away. I'd also say one other nitpick for me. People, and Scal's one of these, so we'll ask him about it. People being like, Joe drew up a good play at the end of the game. Would you stop? That wasn't a good play. And we've all said how difficult the shot it was.
The inbound drew to
yes, the three-pointer for Jalen Brown. Would you stop with that being a good play, Scal and everybody else? We all talk about how difficult of a shot it is. You drew it up so he was standing right in front of the Pacers bench, half falling out of bounds, half behind the backboard, covered. That's your play? That's a suck-ass play. So I don't really give him all that much credit for it. Jalen Brown made an incredible shot. And I'm all for Missoula, defending. Mego bashes him every day because she doesn't like him.
I thought that he was good last night.
I think he was good too. He was actually calling timeouts. Like, he went to a zone for a stretch, which worked and flummoxed the Pacers. Normally the Celtics are the ones getting flummoxed by a zone. Stop with the great play. It was an incredibly difficult shot, which means it was a sucky play. Can I hear Jason Tatum after the game? What changed last night for the Celtics?
This might just prove it for till game 2, but what does this prove to those who might comment about, what you haven't done in this postseason?
Doesn't prove anything. We won a big time game. Series is far from over. We got to come back and play well enough to win again on Thursday. So I'm not trying to prove anything individually. I know the ultimate goal is to try to win a championship. But one step at a time. This is a big time win tonight and come back and get ready for Thursday.
Good answer. It's a good answer by Tatum. They haven't proved anything yet. They're going to prove it whether or not they win a championship. So that's the right answer. I wonder if he really feels that way. He kind of laughed at the question as it came from Gary Washburn, but that's the right answer. So which statement better describes Game 1 last night? The Celtics were clutch. That includes Tatum. He was a big part of that. He was awful at the end of regulation, but hit big shots in overtime. Or the Pacers choked it away.
Okay, the listeners are being very mean this morning.
Why?
Well, and today. Because Pacers choked is leading.
It is leading, yes.
It's true.
Keep voting at Jones and Mego. You can dial us up, 617-779-7937. I think David in the car is in that similar vein. Go ahead, David.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. So I am with the Pacers choker. They choked, but at the same time, they were more impressive than the Celtics. And the reason I say that is because everybody put the Celtics in, which they are a better team, and I am so happy that we won. But them being a better team with more talent, they should not have been in the position that they put themselves in. That was embarrassing that they almost lost that game.
Embarrassing?
I mean, look, they blew a bunch of double-digit leads.
They did.
Like, I mean, that wasn't a great look for them. I might not go as far as embarrassing, but, like, what would we be talking about today if the Pacers could just inbound the effing ball? We'd be calling it an embarrassing performance, and Tatum sucked, and it'd be a long-ass day for Tatum. I mean, that's what we'd be doing if the Pacers could just inbound the ball. So he's not that far off.
He's not that far off, but I'd also say, like, a double-digit lead isn't what it was, 12 years
How
ago.
about 3 of them in the same game? Like, I like that. I've heard that excuse before. Missoula says that. He's like,
I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's just different. It's a different style of play now.
How about if you have 3 of them? How about if you have 3 double-digit leads and you can't put them away any of those times? Like, that to me gets to be a little much.